Good morning and welcome to Leverage Points 2019.
Well, different things, and also reflecting a bit on what we heard this morning. To me, transformation is a continuous process, so it's something that is happening anyway without us intervening. Well, we intervene by everything that we do, by the things that we buy and the way we move ourselves around and the stuff that we eat and etc. So we intervene anyway. But transformation is an ongoing process anyway, and I think the question for this conference is how can you intervene or find those leverage points that make transformation also more of a deliberate process towards something positive?
Well, also reflecting on today's sessions, what I find interesting is that we think of transformation looking towards the future and thinking, okay, what should we prevent from happening and how can we develop a transition path or a transformation path towards something we do want to see happening. So for me, transformation it's in a way anticipating on a transformation we don't want in the future. So the question is, to what extent do we really want to transform, and to what extent do we actually want to stay the same, keep the quality of life, keep the status quo as it is right now, without any negative change. So for me, that's going to be an interesting thing to observe the coming few days. Are we talking about transformation, or are we talking about trying to maintain our current quality of life?
I like to think about systems. So from a systems perspective, for me, a leverage point, it's a point in that system. It can be like an actor or a particular intervention that once you sort of can affect that, you will have a synergetic transformation in the whole system. So that means that just by smaller transformation in the strategic points, you will have you can achieve a much bigger change. So those are sort of the points we should be targeting.
Yeah, leverage point for me is an effort to bring change, no matter what the dimension of that change is. It could be a small change, it could be change at local level, regional level, continental level, or at any level. Change to make the world a better place for people and other organisms. Better place for us all.
I'm working for the IPCC German Coordination Office, so I'm interested in the science policy interface. So what I learned today was that we need to think differently about what knowledge is and how knowledge is incorporated in society. We need a different approach of how to transfer wisdom or knowledge into society. Yeah.
I'm learning that there are many different pathways of working towards various different solutions of this issue of climate change and the end of the world right now. But there are lots of positive programs already happening, and we are collecting all the different ideas of people and companies and geographic locations, and all of this is going to lead to various different solutions. And it's a good message.
Somewhere in 1988 or 89, I went on a sailing holiday with Professor Malcolm Slessor in the Scottish seas. For 1 week, we sailed with just a sail and a rudder. I started asking the question that how is it that with just these two little controls, are we able to change the speed and the direction of the sailboat and ensure that we don't go adrift. Soon after returning back on land, I started this conversation with Dana Meadows. And a conversation that lasted for several months, where we started asking the question, can we actually understand what is the leverage in a system? So I think it's remarkable that in '97, she came up with these brilliant 9 points to start off with, and then 12 points, which talk about leverage. So I think it's important for us to examine how we invent leverage points in different systems, because they stem from our models of the world, of how we think the world runs. So we need to examine where we discover leverage from. In different parts of the world, in different cultures, with their belief systems and value systems, we are going to see different leverage points. And I think it's important to have that journey to discover them.